Hey guys, I'm about to share with you 10 reasons why my entire life is now invested in Africa. All the eggs in my basket are in Africa. And I'm going to explain why when I return on the Eric McNeil Be Free Show.
Black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last, thank God Almighty, we are free at last.
Hey guys, thank you for joining me. You just discovered the Eric McNeil Be Free Show, where it's all about being financially independent, responsible for self, enjoying life, and empowering others free. So on today's episode, I'm going to share with you the 10 reasons why everything I own is now invested in Africa. So even though you may hear me criticize a lot that happens in like Ghana and throughout Africa, don't get it twisted. Like, I'm criticizing, that's constructive criticism, because I got too much invested in Africa at this point and I need Africa to get its act together. But I'm going to give you the 10 reasons why I'm all in Africa, and why you may want to, at least if you don't go all in, you may want to be part of the way in. Okay, so let's start off just right up. Let me tell you why I believe Africa's future is very bright. Africa is on a path to explosive economic growth, even with all its problems. The basic building blocks are being set in place to create an economically viable Africa like you cannot imagine. Now, the first reason that I'm all in Africa is because of the African Continental Free Trade Agreement. And this trade agreement is similar to what you may know if you are in North America, NAFTA, North American Free Trade Agreement. And in Europe, you know, the European Union Trade Agreement. Now, Africa's Free Trade Agreement is the largest free trade agreement area in the world. Like, you have 54 of the 55 countries on the African continent that have ratified, I believe, this trade agreement, and they're now in. And the agreement initially requires the members to basically just remove tariffs on like 90% of the goods and services and commodities. And do you know what that means for the continent? Well, I want you to imagine it like this. Imagine if you lived in the United States and you had all of the separate states with their own governments, and when you wanted to do business and you lived in, let's say, Georgia, you wanted to do business with somebody in Alabama right next to you, they said, well, that's going to be a 25% tax if you want to purchase this product or this service from that country, so you better find it in your own state. Do you know what type of friction you would have when you're trying to conduct business? You wouldn't get anything done, right? I need a programmer from, I don't know, Silicon Valley, from California. No, you can't get them programmers. That's 20% more. You got to find a programmer in Georgia, and you'd be like, well, we don't have these type of programs. Well, I'm sorry. This is what Africans have been going through. So because they've been going through this is what happens when they're faced with these high tariffs. You have a business in, let's say, Ghana, and you need something. You want to go to Nigeria to get it, but they tell you, oh, there's going to be these extreme tariffs. So it may be cheaper for you to actually go to the former colonial power, maybe back to the UK, or maybe back to France, because I probably have an agreement as a country that allows me to get it cheaper there than going to my neighboring country right next door. And so this is the mess that you get into when you have these high tariffs, and you know, even when they're trying to fly places, like, you know, you try to fly from a country, let's say from Ghana, I'm just giving an example, but like from Accra to Lagos, Nigeria, the flight might be so expensive, you got to fly to Great Britain or France first, and then come back to Lagos. You see, you have to fly all the way to Europe and then come back, because the tickets are cheaper than if you try to go direct. And this is what they've been dealing with here. So it's just a mess. You cannot grow if you know, Africa will never grow if it had to depend on that. So, but the African Continental Free Trade Agreement, which is the first reason why Africa is setting itself up for explosive growth. Yes, I believe, you know, it's going to create a lot of Africa trade, right? Trade between the various countries, right? Number 2 is the African Union passport. That's right. For the longest, you know, you still have individual country passports, but what happens when an African in, let's say, Ghana wants to go to South Africa and work or something? They have to get a visa. The visa process can take weeks or months, right? Just going to your neighboring country, So imagine if you, again, in the United States, and you say, well, I want to fly from Florida over to New York this week for a job interview. For a job interview, like, you got your visa? You got your paperwork so that you can work in New York? This is what they have to go to. You can't talk about they're going to work in another country. It might all be Africa, but every country has their own policies. And you just can't travel and talk about, I'm just going to travel over here and travel over there. Some countries have made it easier within themselves, but it's still a mess. But now, with this African Union passport, it changes the game. They can fly all over the continent. They can do business with each other. So it's less friction. It's just less friction. So the African leaders are getting very smart about unifying. So that's the second reasons why I'm all in. Reason number 3 is the demographics. Africans still having babies, y'all. You don't see no other countries had, man, everybody else population just going down. Africa's just a fool. In the stock market, they call that hockey stick growth. Just straight up, yeah, boy, you see Africans, they gonna have some babies. Now, black people in the United States, back in the day, they used to believe in having babies, boy. I'm like the youngest of 9. Moms didn't believe in all this birth control, all this abortion, all that stuff that they talk y'all into now. All this, it was, hey, you having them babies, that was your wealth. Africa still sees it like that. The youngins are your wealth. And so what's happening is that while other countries have been duped into lowering their birth rates with all these kind of, relationships, and stuff like that, Africans just like a man and woman, y'all gonna have some babies, and you need to have a lot of them, right? They on that big. And so what's happening is that you have this young, very young population. The average age of the continent is like 18. And that's 14 years younger than the next closest, right? So they have a very young population. So what happens when you have a very young population and these young people are now getting educated, they're getting strong enough and old enough to work. So what happens is that you have a growing workforce, a large workforce, while other people, they have a shrinking workforce. Africa has a rising workforce with their demographics. So, and because they have a rising workforce, that means that they're about to have a rising middle class, guys, which brings us into reason number 4 that I'm all in, is this growing middle class. That growing middle class, educated, means that they have disposable income. So for the foreseeable future, Africa alone will have a growing amount of young people as consumers and workers, right? So makes it very attractive, very strong. You have people who work. So that's reason number 4 is the growing middle class that they have, attracting like a disposable income. Number 5, reason number 5 that I'm all in Africa is the foreign investments are coming. They're just flowing. Because what happens is that when companies and foreign investors see that there's a place with a growing middle class with disposable income, they want some of that. So they come in to invest money because they know you have workers. We come in to invest money. So number 5 is just the growing foreign investments that are flowing into the country. And you know, at the end of the day, investment capital is going to go wherever it can make a profit, guys. And it sees that Africa is a place that it can make a profit. So the money is just going to flow in. Number 6, the reason why I'm invested all in Africa, reason number 6 is just their adoption of technology is just absolutely amazing. Now, the number of mobile phone subscribers in Africa has surged like 2,500% from 2000 to 2012. So they just skipped all over this landline like we had in the West. Hey, they don't go do no land. They went right to the mobile phones. And the interesting part is that because they went right to these mobile phones, it just created all kind of new value chain systems and technologies that they can capitalize on, because you have everybody with a mobile phone. You have a lot of people, because the networks are not always good. Man, you'll see people with like 2 and 3 mobile phones that they carry with multiple chips in them so that they can get connections from various networks. It's just crazy. So everybody's carrying a mobile. You may not have nothing to eat, but you can have that mobile phone on you, buddy. Shoot, got that, you know, that mobile phone. And so it created all these new types of companies like I can't think of the company's name, but they have the M-Pesa system out of Kenya, and that's the mobile money. They have this mobile money system where we don't, and the system is spread now, you know, like in Ghana, we don't use that company. We use MTN out of, I guess that's South Africa, but they have their mobile money, and they say, you know, everybody say, hey, you gonna Momo me some money? You know, then that just means that, you know, we don't really carry cash, guys. We have these phones, and somebody want to send you money, they just type in the, you know, code on the phone and just send you cash. And then if you need to cash it out, you go to a nearby MTN booth, and, you know, on the side of the road, and you know, you send them the little money that was sent to you, and they cash you out right there. So that's mobile money that we use, and that was made possible because they just have so many mobile phones now. So their adoption of technology is just rapid. I mean, you just see it coming very quickly. Let's see, that's number 6. So let's talk about number 7. Number 7 is just governance. Like, Africa's becoming a very stable place. Like, you still have some, you know, some very unpredictable place, but for the most part, coming to live and work and do business in Africa is becoming like a non-issue. Like, you know, people used to be, oh, you know, is it going to be stable? Is a warlord going to take over this area? And, you know, you're going to have all, you know, chopping people's heads off. No, you come to Ghana, man, Ghana is one of the most peaceful places you can find. You know, even with all, it's very peaceful, very stable. You go to, you know, Kenya is known for being very peaceful, very stable government. So, you know, you have great governance that's starting to happen. You have a lot of peace, stability, you know, fiscal governance. And when that happens, then they become predictable places, and it continues to attract investment and more capital. And so with that, you have these large capital projects from governments, like in Ethiopia, for example. And Ethiopia has a state-of-the-art rail system that rival anything in America. You go look at some of America's rail systems, garbage now. And you go look at Ethiopia's rail system, state-of-the-art. You'll be thinking like, hey, I got to be in some European country. You look at Ethiopia's airline, Ethiopian Airlines, state-of-the-art, well-run. And then you look at Nigeria. Nigeria is becoming like a small Silicon Valley with the talent that's coming out in the startups that's being created in Nigeria. I mean, just absolutely phenomenal amount of talent coming out of that place. So they are definitely taking advantage of the opportunities around them, and they're growing, people. I'm telling you. So that's reason number 7, which is like the governance and the stability. Let's move on to reason number 8 while I'm all in, and that's just the ease of doing business in Africa. It's just in African countries, it's just getting easier. They are recognizing, and they are embracing these democratic and capital systems, right? Whereas before a lot of it was like socialism. Now they're like, hey, we need our people to hit the ground, become entrepreneurial, make that money so we can tax them. Capitalism, right? So they're making it easier for you to start a business, for you to just run a business. They want you to run that business, right? Because they need them tax dollars. So so over the last 10 years, they've just embraced capitalism throughout large parts of the country because they see that brings the money in. Let's see, reason number 9 that I'm all invested is that as Africa gets its act together with the governance and breaking down barriers, well, reason number 9 is the natural resources, people. Africa has more natural resources than any place on earth, right? But they haven't been benefiting from their own natural resources because they've been so divided. And now that they're getting their act together, well, natural resources is not a problem. So as they continue to unite themselves and to knock down barriers, then natural resources are already there. They don't have to go ask nobody. Okay? So that's reason number 9. The 10th reason and last reason is the march toward a single currency. Yes. When that happens, people, boom, game over, checkmate. Single currency, oh buddy. Now we all know, if we're old enough, what happened when Gaddafi tried to do this, back during Obama's era. That was like, no, you ain't, buddy, or establish no single currency. But the push toward a single currency has not stopped. And I don't think it's gonna stop. I think it is going to come. It is coming. You have a group of African countries, actually, Ghana is one of them, which is the ECOWAS, ECOWAS, which stands for the Economic Community of West African States. That's ECOWAS. And they have made it easier to do things, like they've been, knocked down, like the barriers between their 14, I think it's 15 countries now that are part of ECOWAS. But they've been made it easier and started working closely together, for people to travel throughout the various countries with no restrictions. And they made a push toward a single currency that they were going to have called the ECHO. And it was supposed to go live in I believe last year, 2020. But of course, so many things happened last year, and the pandemic and things like that. But they suspended it, and it wasn't just because of the pandemic, but I believe they felt that too many foreign hands were getting involved. For those of you who know the West African countries, some of them are French-speaking countries, part of, and still have close relationships with France, and they have this, the French franc that, is part of their countries. And so when the ECOWAS decided to implement this whole ECO between the countries, they felt that France was getting too involved in what they were trying to accomplish, and they was like, time out, nope, we're not gonna go for this. Too many foreign hands getting involved, so let's revert. So they suspended that, and so that's the one thing. It's going to be very tricky because they have to make sure that the single currency, it can be a blessing or it can be a curse, right? Depending on who controls it. So if you're going to implement this single currency, for the African leaders, they know that Africans have to be in control of it, and it has to be for the benefit of Africans, and they can't lose control of it. So that's the one thing. But I have every bit of confidence that the African leadership that I'm seeing will actually pull this off, so that all 10 of these, which I've stated, they're already in the work. And this last one, which is the single currency, it's coming. But we already see the African Union passport, boom, it's here. The African Free Trade Agreement is here. Big technology is coming. I mean, you just have so many things that are just aligning up for Africa. You'd have to be crazy not to see it at this point. So I believe that investments in Africa for the foreseeable future will eclipse those investments on any other continent on earth. For those of you who follow business, that there's this famous hockey player by the name of Wayne Gretzky. And he is often attributed with a quote, whether it be real or not, but he's attributed with this quote that says, I skate to where the puck is going to be, not where the puck has been. And what I'm telling you guys is that the puck has been to the west, and it's going to be in the east, which includes Africa. So at any rate, that's why I'm all invested, for better or for worse. I believe that the future does belong to Africa, and everything I own is invested right here. So win, lose, or draw, I'm all in. And listen, I'm not asking you to do what Eric do. Like, I'm asking you to do something. But no, you don't have to say, hey, I'm going to take all of my nest egg and invest it in Africa. No, I'm not suggesting you do that. That's what I did. But you don't have to do that. What I'm asking you to do is just start looking at the African economy, start looking at the potential and the opportunity here, and consider an investment, especially for those of you who ancestral home is Africa. And we always talking about, oh, Africa this, Africa that. Well, make an investment in Africa. Not to get off on a tangent, but I remember when Donald Trump was running for the election, the people, if all the celebrities, if Donald Trump win, I'm gonna leave America. Donald Trump win, I'm gonna leave America. And I was like, man, people asking me I was like, man, leave me alone with that mess. Because they ain't gonna do nothing. All right, Donald Trump leave, they gonna leave America. It's like, man, get out of here. And some of them, truth be told, you ask them where they was going, he's like, I'm going to Canada. Hey, they ain't say Africa. Donald Trump leave. Where you going? To Canada. You going to Canada, huh? Yeah, so that stuff would just go in one ear for me and out the other. I don't even listen to that foolishness no more. And when Donald Trump did win, where did they go? Nowhere. Went right there in America. I was like, see? So what I'm saying is that, I'm serious about business. When it comes to business and things like that, and, people say, hey, they want to do something, here's the opportunity. If you say you want to invest in Africa, okay, well, you don't really know how to maneuver through here. Okay, consider migrating culture crossing. Perfect opportunity for you to invest in. Like, you can purchase a house in our community, and if you don't plan on moving here, we'll maintain it for you, we'll manage it for you. It becomes an investment property for you. And if you can't afford a whole house, then maybe you and some of your friends go together and you purchase a home, but you have an investment here. So that's an opportunity. If you're serious about it, then hey, head over to our website, www.migratingculturecrossing.com. We even have a page, on, investing and, using the property as an investment vehicle, right? And, when you're ready to take a vacation, you come here for a month, take a vacation. Don't matter what month you come, it's going to be hot, weather's going to be nice. So, you come January, February, March, that doesn't matter, December, weather's going to be nice. So, at any rate, that's all. If you like what we're talking about and, you digging it, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, like, share, comment, let me know your feedback, your thoughts, and also you can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/Eric McNeil. It's free. And as always, hoorah, ahuru. Now be free.